YouTube, what the Medieval 2 crap is going on? HeirofCarthage here, back with another online battle. This one is going to be in Medieval 2, obviously. Do want to let you know, though, that as this week unfolds, hopefully I'll get another mod preview in or something similar. And then I'm going to have 2 more online battles for you after this one. So you'll get a Medieval 2 online battle, I have a Rome 2 online battle, and I have a Shogun 2 2 versus 2 to show you, which was a lot of fun. So definitely looking forward to bringing you those. So for those of you who enjoy the online battles, there's definitely some of that coming this week. So let's go ahead and jump into this Medieval 2 replay. I really do enjoy the online play of Medieval 2, even though there's a few things about it that are unbalanced. There's like the two-handed weapon glitch and stuff like that. That's unfortunate, but still a lot of fun in multiplayer, especially when you're just playing casually like I do. I don't know how it bears out from a competitive standpoint, but let's take a look at my army. I am playing as Milan this time. They annoyed me so bad in campaign with their Genoese crossbowmen and other stuff that I kind of wanted to give them a try against someone else to see how they liked it. So yeah, my front line actually consists of quite a few Genoese crossbowmen. I think I have 4 of them in total. And I'm going to move all my guys over here. So this map, my opponent's going to start off with a nice hill. And you can actually see that he's already planted stakes here in the ground. So he's obviously planning to hold the hill here. So I decided to start on the flank of the hill so that he'd have to turn his whole army to face. I don't know what some of these weird things are here. There's like this mound here with all these spikes and stuff. You can't actually garrison it or get your men up on it, and you can't garrison the buildings or anything either. Unfortunately, it would have been a lot of fun. They did allow you to do that starting an empire, but yeah, you can clearly see here my opponent's hoping to hold this hill. He's playing as England. Again, I'm playing as Milan. So my infantry is 4 dismounted feudal knights and then 4 Italian spear militia, which these guys are a pretty good bargain for the price as far as spear militia goes. And then I've got a general's bodyguard, 2, and then this thing here, which is a monster revolt, which is an artillery. I think it's like a gun thing, like an organ gun or something. I had no idea what it is or what it did, but just wanted to try it when I saw it. And then I have 2 Knights Templar and 2 Knights Hospitaller. So the Knights Templar on one flank and the Hospitaller on another flank. Milan doesn't seem to have access to fantastic cav, but they've got access to enough cav. And overall, these armored crossbowmen, like these Genoese crossbowmen or Pavese crossbowmen with the long-range missiles and the armor and the nice shield on their back, and I'm guessing Pavese crossbowmen are even better. These guys are very dangerous. And the reason is because they're effective versus armor, and they have the long range. And if you give these guys nice, clean shots, they will, and from what I've seen in my little experience in the game, they will cause a lot of damage. My opponent has brought England, and England has fantastic archers. And I brought the crossbowmen just to be annoying to the English archers, because the English longbowmen and other stuff are capable units. But remember that crossbows are effective against armor, whereas just standard bows are not. So the battle is starting at this point, and the nasty weather is going to make it very hard for me to see. But let's take a look at my opponent's army. Over here, he's started off with 2 armored swordsmen and a Knights Templar, so heavy cavalry in his own service there. Over here, we've got a dismounted feudal knight, an armored swordsman, some dismounted English knights, a couple of Knights Hospitaller there in the center, and then a general's bodyguard here. And then sure enough, he's got a levy spearman protecting. Let's see, a couple of longbowmen here in the center, I think. Yeah, there's another longbowman. Looks like peasants, so he's got 2 longbowmen that I can see. And then a lot of his army is spread out all over the place here. He's got a lot of troops. Let's see, there's 2 more dismounted English knights, and then 2 more Knights Hospitaller. So he's got quite a few Knights Hospitaller. And these English knights wield a 2-handed weapon, which is supposed to be good against armor, but again, I think that the 2-handed weapons, from what everybody tells me, struggle a little bit because they never patched a glitch that they take longer to animate, and since they do, and the animations and stuff end up screwing them over. So anyway, you can see my Genoese crossbowmen are already in range of his longbowmen, and as they reload, see they get these nice shields to guard their back. So let's watch what happens when they open fire. The longbowmen are opening fire as well, but my guys are in nice tight ranks. And you can see that I'm shredding right through his peasants and on into his longbowmen, which are dropping like flies. They're absolutely getting slaughtered by my crossbowmen because what little armor they have is being easily penetrated by my crossbows. And I'm also massing fire. I don't know if my opponent is massing fire, but if he is, it's not having the same effect that I am on his guys. So he is not massing fire, I don't believe. No, because he's doing damage to a couple of my different units. And I've got my dismounted... I guess I had 1 dismounted broken lance, my bad. Yeah, because I set a rule to say max 4 of the same unit. which the game kind of enforces anyway by making your guys more expensive after that. I'm not targeting his peasants, they're just being hit. I'm actually targeting this longbowman, and you can see that the missed shots are also hitting this levy spearman. So my crossbows are mopping up a lot of kills, and I can already go ahead and switch to the next archer target, and my opponent is causing very little damage to my crossbowmen. So down to 83 men here and 87 here, so his longbowmen are having negligible effects, which means that he's going to have to try and get around me. Let's see. He's still got these English knights and cav over here, but he's moving some Knights Hospitaller from the center, and he's bringing in these dismounted feudal knights to the hill. And then, let's see, he's got some dismounted English knights on top of the hill. Dismounted feudal knights he's moving over, and then his flank over here is still the armored swordsman and the cav. I tried hard to keep my eye on the minimap, but honestly the minimap is confusing in this game. It's really hard to follow because it's not real clear. Perhaps if I zoomed up on it like this during the battle, that might have helped. Just realized that button was there, so way to go, Air. So yeah, it was very difficult for me to keep track of my opponent's movements because of the rain. And of course because I was trying to make sure that I was fighting properly in the skirmish phase here, which I have wrecked another unit of longbowmen over here already. So again, my opponent's caused very minimal damage to my Genoese crossbowmen, and I have a ton of ammunition left. And his knights and other units are going to be in extreme danger for my crossbowmen if they don't do something. So my opponent is massing up for an attack. He's got his dismounted knights and everything moving in, and then he's moving some Knights Hospitaller on my flank. And I do have Italian Spear Militia over here, as well as Knights Templar. So I have the capability to fight him back. We'll see how I do. My opponent, though, looks like he's sending stronger infantry towards my flank. And then his center is just kind of a lot of different stuff here that he's not necessarily pushing on me. He's got his bodyguard moving in, too. So here comes his Knights Hospitaller. Let's watch what my opponent does. So again, my crossbowmen are now slaughtering his longbowman, his third unit. So there's usually a lot more skirmishing that goes on in Rome 1 and Medieval 2, something I kind of missed, to be honest. The skirmishing was very important in Empire and in Medieval, so my opponent's going to go for a YOLO charge here, just to shut up my crossbowman. And my Revolt here dies before it really gets to do anything, so that was genius. So he does a charge here, kills quite a few of my Genoese crossbowmen in one unit. Doesn't really lose too many knights, only lost 9 there and like 11 or 12, maybe 13 there. And he's going to run in some feudal knights right behind them. I got my Italian Spear Militia to slow them up. I go ahead and do remount my guys to this monster Revolt, and I'm going to try and take some shots on his retreating units, but I don't even know if this thing's any good or what it's going to do, so I don't even know if we're going to get any shots here. I think I mount them back up right now. They're disconnected, I think, from the equipment. So yeah, my opponent moves around my flank, and I kind of see it, but I kind of don't. The woods and then the mini-map is leaving me very confused about where I'm getting attacked from. So I haven't reacted much with my forces over here, and I'm not too worried about my Spear Militia taking on his dismounted feudal knights. They're going to lose, but I mean, it's just wasting their time. Yeah, my Revolt is not taking any shots. My crossbowmen, though, however, are still taking shots. I don't know what they're shooting at just yet. My opponent's going to come crashing in with this Knights Hospitaller into this Spear Militia. It's going to be a pretty good charge for him. He's going to kill a lot of men there, and then he's going to immediately pull out. And he's going to take very few losses in doing so. He did take some. So you generally take losses on a cav charge. It's not like Attila where your unit will just absolutely slaughter the enemy, but I mean, he is getting good charges here, and he's hurting my heavy infantry bad. But my heavy cavalry is still alive, and again, a lot of this, I'm kind of like confused trying to react over here, and then he charged me here, so I just start to lose track of my men. And for a while here, it's going to be kind of bad for me. But, you know, like right here is my dismounted knights fighting his dismounted feudal knights. They'll do fine. My guys got charged here, so it won't be great, but these, they'll hold out for a while against these dismounted feudal knights. I kind of just fall back to hold my flank here, and then my opponent starts to move in a Knights Templar over here, and I've got a Knights Hospitaller to face them. I don't really know if one's better than the other, but I am going to get an open charge on it. Not a whole lot of damage to each other there. We'll see. My guys took his guys took more losses, I think. So anyway, he's got a lot of cav units moving around in these woods behind me, and I'm quickly losing track of them. I do have some of my own Knights Templar that I was going to send around his flank, but then he intercepts me very nicely here with the Knights Hospitaller. So I get intercepted. And then my Italian spear militia is not doing a real good job of assisting my cav at the moment, which is unfortunate because that's where I need them. You can see his dismounted English knights still working on a couple of militia units. And then I've got my a Knights Templar here as well. Well, I'm trying to hold this flank with my bodyguard and another Knights Hospitaller. I do very well against his Knights Templar, it looks like, but he comes in with infantry support, and that's just going to end up being a trade that works better for him. So here's his bodyguard and a Knights Hospitaller moving in my back lines. Very dangerous situation for me, but the infantry fight's not going particularly well for the English player. But this is going to be a great rear charge from his bodyguard onto my spear militia, and he's just going to immediately rout them. So 3 units right off the field there. So fantastic charge by the English bodyguard. I don't even think it took any losses. So very, very bad for me when that happened. I start to lose this flank. I do, though, still have all these crossbowmen, and I am targeting, putting shots down on targets of opportunity, which probably like his cav and other units that I'm firing at. Can't quite tell where they're firing at the moment. I know I have something targeted, I just don't know what. Here comes a Knights Hospitaller unit, so my opponent's going to try and sneak past me and get into these Genoese crossbowmen, and it looks like he's going to succeed. I don't notice him here with my bodyguard, even though I could have easily intercepted him. My opponent's desperate to get my crossbows, and he should be. But these crossbowmen aren't going to die that easy to such a small unit, but his bodyguard is coming in to make good on it too. So unfortunately for me, I've let him get into my guys here, but my bodyguard will come on over and help chase his guys away. I'm going to get a rear char into these Knights Hospitaller, which will be good. My crossbowmen will live to fight another day. Most of them will. So they're not gone yet. And I've got this Knights Hospitaller as well. Though my opponent is breaking through me on this flank over here with the Armored Swordsman. So let's see where everything else is going, though. So my Spear Militia, some of them have come back from routing, and I'm able to chase his cav off over here, which is great. His general's bodyguard is just getting chased by my Spear Militia. And if I get to kill any of them, it's just going to be a benefit for me. Which I'm not sure if I will or not, but my Spear Militia's got a bonus versus cav. The rest of my Spear Militia, though... Yeah, it looks like it routed. I got hit in the back, too, so no big effect there. I do get a rear charge here on some of his dismounted feudal knights, so finally I managed to pull off something genius. The only thing else I've done good up to this point is my crossbowmen killing a lot of his troops. But you can see here my Genoese crossbowmen did manage to fight off the troops that were attacking them. Had some levy spearmen, a little bit of cav. These dismounted feudal knights even were trying to cut their way through, and so now I'm going to be able to escape with my Genoese crossbowmen. He's got another unit of armored swordsmen coming around me here. So this cav charge back here was timely. And then I'm going to go straight into these armored swordsmen who are in loose formation, so this is not going to be great for them either. They're going to lose men like crazy. But here comes a dismounted English knight. These guys are very good against armor, if I remember right. So you can see that they are actually killing my cavalry quite fast in hand-to-hand combat, but I'm not sure that these units will be good at versus my other infantry. I think I had some spear militia somewhere out here that come back from routing. I can't remember. Yeah, here they are over here. I haven't recognized them yet. The fight, though, although it looks ugly, it's not bad for me. I've got quite a few intact cav units, and my Genoese crossbowmen are still fairly intact as well. So this is all things that bode well for me. Here's the English bodyguard. He's doing very nice charge and retreat tactics. And then over here he intercepts, well, tries to intercept my rear charge, but it's too late, and his dismounted English knights rout. And then he's got some... my dismounted broken lancers are taking on his dismounted feudal knights, and here his Knights Hospitaller also routs. So this is where the battle kind of starts to turn back in my favor, I feel like. And then here I'm just massing my crossbow fire at these couple of Knights Templar, and they start to go down. So very, very bloody fight, mostly because of mistakes on my part, but the English troops just haven't been able to match up real well against my guys here. Their infantry traded okay with my infantry, and his cav got a lot of rear charges, but without getting rid of these crossbowmen, it's going to be a big problem for my opponent. Where are my guys firing? I don't remember who I've got. I might have his bodyguard targeted. I think I do. And then I've got my bodyguard charging his, but I miss on the charge. I think I'm still firing at the English bodyguard, which is now run off. So he's going to come back in with some armored swordsmen and again go for my Genoese crossbowmen. So I think I'm firing, yeah, I'm firing at his bodyguard with my crossbowman and actually got a few kills there. You see his armored swordsmen are not going to quickly kill my crossbowmen. They are killing them, but it's they'll last for a second. I've been very slow to help my men in a lot of scenarios, but you know it's going okay. My bodyguard rear charges these dismounted English knights and takes them off the field, and then I remembered I think I've remembered my regroup spearmen at this point. I have, so they're coming back into the fight. Believe it or not, I remembered something eventually. My opponent's bodyguard's going to get a great charge here onto my dismounted feudal knights and wreck them up pretty bad. But all this charge and retreat does slowly take its toll on his men, and he does a good job of getting in here and surrounding me too with what few guys he has left. But again, the crossbowmen are a big problem for my opponent, and with these spearmen now coming back to chase his general, it's going to be a problem. He does have this dismounted English knight though that apparently got away from the fight, so he's bringing it back as well. So here come my Italian spearmen. Let's see what's going on. His bodyguard was charging these Genoese crossbowmen, and it looks like my spearmen are chasing his bodyguard, which is a good choice for me. I just want to catch his bodyguard. Where's my bodyguard at? Here it is over here. It must have gone to charge down one of his units. Here comes a rear charge on these armored swordsmen. So they're going to be gone at this point.
Praise to our Lord.
And the English general dies fighting my Genoese crossbowmen. Those guys aren't like fantastic in melee, but they're strong enough that they can be a problem. And his English knights rout at the death of his general. So a very close fight, and honestly I felt like for the most part my opponent outmaneuvered me here. I did get a few key rear charges that were important, but as you can see in the enemies killed, he basically matched me on enemies killed. He had a few more men than I did. So I think that's probably part of my difficulty. He outnumbered me here, but if you take a look at the key units, really it's the crossbows. So my 4 Genoese crossbowmen racking up more kills than in any other unit. So all those kills on his archers and other units in cav and everything started to pay off. Some of my infantry did fine though. I mean, dismounted feudal knights 70, 90, 106, decent kills there. Some of them didn't. My Knights Hospitaller, one of them racked up 97 kills, which is nice. You know, the rest of them, again, not super impressive. The bodyguard got 65 kills, so okay-ish. But definitely a fun fight, close one. I've never used Milan online before, so that was kind of an interesting way to take a look at Milan. England, of course, is an interesting faction. If I go in and show you just real quick single-player custom battle, let's just make sure it's on all periods. Head in here, so I can show you the English roster real quick, just so you see what they have to offer. They got these Bill Militia and Billmen, which are good against armor, but I think it's a two-handed weapon too, so I don't know. Someone will have to tell me whether or not they're supposed to be good against armor. I don't know, tell me all, you who know a whole lot about. And then you got heavy Billmen. Tell me if these guys actually work, or if they're suffering from the two-handed weapon glitch. English Knights, again, are a cool unit with a huge attack, but I also think that they may suffer from that two-handed weapon glitch, and they're supposed to be effective against armor, which is too bad. But if they're supporting a cav fight or something, these guys really aren't bad. They seem to still do well. You got Sherwood archers that have 2 hit points and 13 missile damage, 16 attack. Interesting throwback to Robin Hood there. Here's the longbowman he was using. They only have 6 missile attack, which is not very impressive. You really would need to bring something like these yeoman archers or these retinue longbowmen. And it looks like the longbowmen are effective against armor, so that's interesting to know. But they sure didn't do well against my crossbows. The crossbows had better missile damage, I think, too. So Holabars, Merchant Cavalry Militia, Mailed Knights, not particularly good units here. Demi Lancers, not really so great. Feudal Knights are a decent cav unit. And then you got these English Knights, again, decent cav unit. And then you've got your best cav units here, the Knights Hospitaller and the Knights Templar. So let's see what other units they got down here, if any. Irish Kerns, a missile unit, javelin unit, Welsh Spearmen, and some mortars and other stuff that they have access to. They have this Ribault as well. Let's go back and I'll show you the Milanese roster real quick just to show you what I had access to. So obviously lots of militia, pike militia, spear militia, and generally militia is better for The Italian factions had dismounted men-at-arms, which is a decent unit, dismounted broken lances, dismounted feudal knights, all these units decent. And then here, what I was making use of, you have access to Genoese crossbow militia and Genoese crossbowmen, but you almost might as well just you might as well just take these Genoese crossbowmen. They're only like 30 florins more, and you get a whole lot more bang for your buck. So I just felt like that was a no-brainer there. As far as cavalry goes, they have a decent offering. Men-at-arms are okay for being cheap, not really great in a heavyweight fight. Again, mailed knights, feudal knights, all that. Broken lances, again, meh. They have a really good charge. They're just not so great in extended combat. Then you got, of course, the General's Bodyguards, the Knights Hospitaller. This one's one I haven't seen here. Femigila, yeah, whatever. Ducali, I don't know what that is, but you know, it's again very good charge, not as powerful as some of the others in extended melee. And then you got your Knights Templar here. And then the mounted crossbowman, which I didn't make use of. You have this interesting standard here that you can bring that boosts the morale of your whole army, but I'm guessing that losing it is quite bad. This was the monster, or hang on, here's the monster revolt that I brought. So yeah. Anyway, that's the armies. Hope you all enjoyed this battle. Come check me out tomorrow if you're looking for. Let's see, what do I'll show you the Shogun 2 versus 2 tomorrow. Actually, I won't, because I'll be showing the Shogun 2 campaign tomorrow. So I'll show you the Rome 2 battle tomorrow, and then the following day, when I go back to the Attila campaign, I will show you the Shogun 2 versus 2. So that's kind of what you have coming up. HeirofCarthage, signing off for now.